would say top three albums would be Agalloch the Mantle is my number one. Probably number two would be Emperor and the Nightside Eclipse. And then number three would probably be Caladan Brood Echoes of Battle.
Yeah, this is tough. Yeah, so if I had to choose, number one is probably Fragmentary Evidence by Augury from Quebec. That's the album that like changed my life and got me into like extreme metal pretty much. I had been listening to like deathcore and like metalcore and stuff before that, but when I was like in middle school, but then that album like really was like the first prog tech death I ever heard, and that just changed
Right.
for me. So that's probably number one for both musical and nostalgia reasons, and hometown reasons. From Quebec as well, and just
Right.
those guys are like heroes to me. So, and then yeah, the other two, trying to keep it well rounded. Let's see, top three favorite. Well, I'd probably pick Obsidian by Castavit as well. I mentioned it before. I don't know. There's like a certain type of like chord structure and style in terms of what happens on the guitar intervallically that I really love. It's kind of hard to explain, but that album is essentially like what I like that type of aesthetic and that type of like chord structure, but the album of that. Like, so that's probably number two. Um, the number three, uh, probably if I had to choose, probably Le Dernier Crépuscule by Cathedalist. Sorry for the insane French there, but
It's good.
it's the last Twilight in English by
Right.
Cathedalist. So it's like yeah, death metal, black metal, all that, just a good mix in there. I just absolutely love those three records. They've had a huge influence.
Number one, Phil Touga of Catalyst, Worm, First Fragment, a bunch of other bands. He's my number one inspiration as a musician. Just the level of like technical ability and like how prolific he is, all the different projects, and every single project that he has brings something different to the table, and they're all phenomenal. That's something that I really strive for, both in like Tómarúm and other projects.
Right.
Um, Number two, I would say Ivar Bjornsson of Enslaved, and then number three, Sanjay Kumar. He plays in Inferi, Wormhole, Equipoise, a couple of other bands. Just the way that or his like particular style of like riffing and soloing and everything is like super unique and like something that's been just like super inspirational.
Yeah, I mean, two out of the three that Kyle mentioned are the exact same for
Oh, fair
me.
enough.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's
yeah,
fine.
no, yeah. Number one, Philippe Tsuga. When I was 14, my uncle sent me like a care package of tech death and stuff from like a local shop, and the Afterthought Ecstasy from First Fragment was in there, and ever since then, Phil became like a hero of mine in terms of like, riffs, shred, phrasing, work ethic, all that kind of stuff. Like what Kyle said. And Kyle and I actually like bonded over that, and that's the reason why, we take that inspiration and kind of do our own thing with
Right.
that. Um, and yeah, just I mean, unbelievable amounts of respect and inspiration for that guy. Um, so next up, Sanjay Kumar as well. When I was maybe in like later high school, like junior, senior year, came across his riffing style and solos and stuff like that, and he's only gotten better in terms of like carving out his own niche. And yeah, a lot of the chord structures and phrasing and stuff on the new record and future stuff that we're doing, I'm taking a lot of inspiration from him in terms of riffs and solos, and likewise with Phil, kind of blending those things together. And then third, yeah, that's three favorite musicians. Hmm. Third's a bit harder to nail down. I would probably say probably Michael Ackerfeld,
Okay.
Opeth. Um, yeah, no, probably just because again the riffing style, the emotion, the dynamics, the complexity. Uh, the breadth of career that he's had. And so yeah, like I try and kind of those are probably the three biggest inspirations in terms of what I try and do, like riff wise and solo wise and stuff. Um, if I had to kind of say that this is my style, it's kind of like a fusion of all that kind of stuff. It's like 80s shred mixed with like, more uh, kind of jazzier, more maybe dissonant or um, suspended chord work. And then, yeah, like that more proggy chord progression, acoustic guitar kind of stuff. It's kind of all that blended together. Those three have had a huge, huge impact.
Your three countries you'd love to tour if you could just like you had the money, like fuck it, let's go tomorrow. Which three countries would be the
We're probably gonna have same ones here as well, Kyle. Because
I would say in no particular order, Japan,
yeah,
Iceland, and what would be a third one? Maybe Finland for the third one.
Yeah, Finland, definitely. Fantastic metal
yeah,
scene.
yeah. I would probably say Japan as well. I lived there for 2 years and I
Did
speak
you?
the language, and I went to a bunch of metal shows over there, and I always imagined us, in the future playing some of those same shows with those same, homies over there and stuff. So that's probably number one, connecting with that fan base and stuff. Um, would love to play in the UK. I'm
Mhm.
uh, I'm Scottish, French Canadian, so like
Right.
would love to play in Scotland and also England, Wales, all that kind of stuff. Um, I would say Ireland too, but I know there's like, weird stuff politically there, but I'll say Ireland as well. Love
Some
that
good stuff
whole,
in my country at the minute, man. Anyway, we won't go
but
down that road. Right, so
no, love all
which
that, love that whole like chain of islands. Really want to play there. Gorgeous. Have some
yeah,
heritage there. And then for the third one, probably, hmm, yeah, I guess probably Italy because I'm also half Italian. I would love to play in Italy as well, just for the culture as well.
sure.
And then, honorary mentions, Scandinavia, obviously, like Kyle said, Finland, Norway, Sweden.
Amazing. All right. So you're right mixture like me then. Yeah, totally. All right. So you got a bit of Scotch, a bit of any beer. That's amazing. Right, man. So which musician then would you have in your car for a 24-hour road trip?
Uh, for me, I feel like the obvious answer is the rapper RXK Nephew. That dude, he puts out like the most psychotic, like 12-minute stream of consciousness songs. Like he
Okay.
just put out a 12-minute song called The Truth the other day that was just like total nonsense, but it was like some of the funniest shit I had ever heard in my life. I would probably say him because that would probably be a day that I never forgot.
I didn't expect you to say RXK. That's hilarious, but it's on brand for sure. That's hilarious, dude. Oh my God. Um, if I had to choose a musician, hmm, my first thought was actually uh, Frederick Axon from Opeth. That's just the first one that popped in my mind, so I'm gonna go with that, just because of yeah, again, the his lead work and chops, and uh, just pick his brain about yeah, it's just a random choice, but yeah, just pick his brain about like guitar and riffs and stuff. I think it'd be cool.
Amazing. If there was a made up song about your personality, what would it be called?
These are good, dude. These are interesting questions. I've never. This is really good. This is stimulating.
Yeah, I try.
Oh, made up song about my personality. I mean, what would it be called?
Mhm.
You should have given us this question before the interview. We have like a pre-screening,
Well,
so we could think
see,
about it.
I sorted this all out. This 666 with a musician friend of mine who's in New York, and he said do that. Now I've sort of done that, and I don't know. I just think it's better to just spring it on you. And you're
I
thinking,
guess
and
I
you're like,
I I guess yeah. There's like a charm to the spontaneity of it.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
I don't know. Personality, I guess I would say like this is gonna sound like so beyond not beyond Obsidian Euphoria, but that too. But hilarious. I don't know. My first thought was like the oh, it would have to be something to do with like autumn and like cities. Like Kyle knows what I'm talking about because those are like my two favorite like things. Like
Right.
the autumn city boy or some shit. I don't know.
That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
don't
cool.
know. So
That's a
I
cool.
love city. I love architecture and like city aesthetics and like
Okay.
minimalist futuristic shit.
Mm,
And I love autumn and orange colors. So I guess
cool.
that'll I don't know. I like associate with that a lot. So I guess that's it.
Okay.
I feel like for me, and this is probably going to come across as like really, really cringe, but something like chaotic hermit or something like that. I like,
Oh,
I
that's so
never,
good.
I like rarely leave my house. I'm like super,
Okay.
super like introverted and like reclusive. The most I ever leave my house is to go on tour, and then I'm also just like a total mess of a person. So something like that.
That's a cool name. All right, I've only got 5 minutes, so I might have to cut this short a little bit. All right, so the next one, just a quicker question. Do you prefer festivals or small intimate gigs?
Hmm. Well, we've never really done. Well, we've done one festival as Tómarúm. We did Mass Destruction. Unless you guys did stuff while I was in Japan, I can't remember. Did you guys? Did
Yeah, that's
you?
the only one.
Okay, yeah, we did Mass Destruction here in Atlanta as Tómarúm, and then we've also done like a lot of the smaller gigs on tour. So, oh, I don't know. It's more of an experience thing. If I had to choose based on experience, I'd probably say the smaller gigs because that's just what we're used to. But
Yeah.
honestly, the charm and like the feel of doing those huge like bigger gigs like until we get to that point, I mean, it's like a huge dream to like do more of those festivals and stuff. So, um, yeah, hopefully that kind of answers the question.
It sort of
Yeah,
does,
I
yeah.
would
That's
say
cool.
they each have their pros. Like we did do, I guess, like a bigger tour. We went on tour with Inferi and First Fragment back in 2023. And those were like the biggest shows that we've played together as a band. And those were like fucking awesome because like the energy was great, all the venues were packed and everything. That was really awesome to see and experience. But at the same time, some of those like smaller club shows, like we've also played headliners where we're playing to like a packed like 100 cap room that looks like a hallway. And the energy of those is something that you just can't really describe. It's just like insane. There's this one venue in St. Louis called the
Yeah,
Sinkhole
I was gonna
that's
mention the
essentially like
sinkhole. Yeah,
it's essentially just like a hallway. It's like a
Right.
super DIY venue. There's no stage or anything, so you're like on the floor at the same level as the crowd.
Yeah.
And when we played there, it was like so packed that you can't even move. And the energy in the room that night was just like through the roof.
dude, I just got
I really
chills.
love
Like
those experiences.
I just got chills like all over. Yeah, there's pros to both. Like the small intimate ones, the energy is just insane. But then those bigger ones, it's just like again, it's like larger than life. It's like you get to make so many fans and play to so many people, and it's so fun, you know. So yeah, watch Sebs
Watch
six six
Seb
six.
666.
It'll rock your world.
It'll rock your world.
Can you tell us why we should check